Today we're making a savory, poppable bite that can be served as an appetizer or a side dish. We're gonna be making keto buttery Parmesan puffs. I got the idea for these soft, buttery puffs from a restaurant I visited when I went to Pawhuska, Oklahoma this spring. They served these puffs, these little bite-sized puffs that were buttery and filled with Parmesan cheese and covered in Parmesan cheese, and they were great for dipping in marinara sauce. And I thought I had to make a keto version. So I decided to take the same concept of a little puff bite and turn it into a gluten-free, low-carb version. These puffs are spongy, they're buttery, cheesy, and they're perfect for dipping in any sort of ranch or low-carb marinara. So they make a great appetizer, but you can also serve them as a side dish along with some low-carb spaghetti. And if you're wanting a delicious recipe for some keto spaghetti, well then just click down below. I'll have that in the description box for you. To start making these puffs, I'm gonna be making them in my food processor. Now, if you don't have a food processor, you could actually mix them in a bowl using a hand mixer. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. I like using the food processor because one, it's faster, and two, I make sure that it gets completely mixed up. So to our food processor, we're gonna add 2 cups of almond flour, a half a cup of unflavored protein powder, and I'll have some of my favorites listed down below for you in the description box. 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of xanthan gum, and the point of using xanthan gum is it's just gonna add a little bit of extra support for our little puffs, plus it adds like a chewiness to it as well. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. You wanna pulse this together until all of your dry ingredients are mixed up, and then we're gonna add in our wet ingredients. To give our keto puffs some of that cheesy flavor inside, I'm gonna be using some mozzarella cheese. So this is a half of a cup that I've just put in here, just kind of mounted in there. I'm gonna add it to a microwave safe bowl. We're gonna microwave it for around 60 seconds until it's melted, and then add that to our mixture. We're also going to add in half a cup of butter that's melted, 1 egg, and then I'm gonna add in my secret ingredient, which is sour cream. I love adding sour cream to any sort of keto bread recipe just because it actually makes it taste more like bread. So it's gonna be 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Then we're gonna pulse this together until it's completely combined and it forms a dough. The next step is to roll these out into small balls. So you want them around the size of a golf ball, maybe a little bit smaller. Roll them in between your hands and put them on a sheet of parchment paper on a baking tray. Space them out by just around like 1 inch or 1.5 inches. They don't really expand all that much. And then I'm gonna coat mine with some egg wash. So I just have an egg white in a small bowl with a little bit of water in it. Just dip in your brush and brush your puffs with an egg wash. This will just create like more of a sheen on top. Totally optional step. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Then we're gonna bake these in a 350-degree oven for around 6 to 8 minutes. While our puffs are baking, let's just take a few minutes to thank our sponsor for today's video, which is LMNT. LMNT is an electrolyte drink mix, and they have a bunch of different flavors, from citrus to orange, watermelon, raspberry, and they're very good. It's hard to believe that there's a bunch of electrolytes in there. The thing I love about using LMNT as an electrolyte supplement is that they are loaded with good electrolytes, and they have more in them than just like a leading brand. So there's 1,000 milligrams of sodium and 200 milligrams of potassium and 60 milligrams of magnesium in 1 packet. There's no sugar added, they're gluten-free, and they're keto-friendly. If you guys are interested in learning more about LMNT's electrolyte mixes, click down below. I'll have some information on there for you. And to get a nice golden top for these Parmesan puffs, we are going to stick them under the broiler after they're done baking. Stick them under the broiler at high for around like 1 to 2 minutes, just until they start to get brown on top. Next, you're gonna pull them out, and this is where we make them really buttery and cheesy. You wanna take your brush again and brush the tops of your puffs with some melted butter, and then immediately dip them into some grated Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese will coat all over and that melted butter just drips down and it's fabulous. These are so good dipped in some low-carb marinara or some ranch dressing. And like I said, if you want to have it as a side dish, just pair it next to a keto spaghetti. I'll have the full recipe for you guys listed down below in the description box, as well as the macro information, which is on my website, KetoFocus.com.